When COVID hit, we converted our home theater into a recording studio. That became my writing room. And I spent a lot of time in that room during 2020, working through the ideas that would eventually become the first edition pocketbook. One afternoon, I hit a wall. Not with the content, I knew what I wanted to say. The wall was the framework itself. I needed an acronym, something memorable, something clean, something that would make the model easy to teach and easy to remember. Nothing was working. I took a break and walked into the living room where my wife, Heather, was sitting. She asked how it was going. I told her I was frustrated, that I'd been trying to find the right acronym and I couldn't land on anything. And then I said something like, I don't want it to be complicated. We already make everything complicated enough. My whole goal is to make this simple. She smiled and said, well, then there's your acronym. Simple. I went back to that room and worked the lessons to fit the framework. And honestly, none of them were a difficult fit. The content was there. It just needed a home. That's my wife, Heather, in a nutshell. I'd been wrestling with something for weeks, and she solved it in about 10 seconds. Now, for those who read the little pocketbook first edition, they'll notice the simple framework actually evolved in this second edition. 2 elements changed. The L in the first edition stood for look for the good stuff. When I wrote the second edition, I changed it to live with celebration. The reason was simple. Champagne Friday, my brand around celebrating wins, was completely absent from the first edition. Celebration was missing, and I knew it. The second edition fixed that. The E also changed. In the first edition, it stood for enhance the conversation. In the second edition, it became elevate the conversation. A small word change, but an important one. To enhance something is to make it a little better. To elevate it is to lift it to a different level entirely. That's what I'm asking people to do. There's something intentional about the way simple is structured that I want you to notice. The first 5 elements, step out of the crud, initiate positive connections, manage your messages, practice positive reframing, and live with celebration, those are all personal. They're about what you do inside your own life. The 6th element, elevate the conversation, is the only one that points outward. It's the one that asks you to take everything you've built and spread it to the people around you. I saved it for last on purpose. I wanted to end on the strongest part of my message, the part I've been delivering from stages for almost 30 years. Tell me something good isn't just a phrase. It's an invitation, and it's the element that turns a personal practice into a movement. That's the story behind Simple. One frustrated writer, one very smart wife, and a framework that took 2 editions to get exactly right. For me, it has been worth every revision.